Hello, my name's Ryan Wilmot, and I'll be talking about my presentation today on the past, present, and the digital future. Why I picked this title was quite simply quite obvious. Lanya and Sharkey are two very, very popular authors, and how Lanya is sort of likes to be in the past in terms of his technology and how he wants it to be developed. Sharkey is so reliant on modern technology these days, and how he's looking forward to the future, and also the digital future, where, for a start, that is where we're heading into for the next couple of years' time, because technology is developing at such a rapid rate. Every second matters in the digital technology world. Also, if you've not seen in the background, I have added a technology related picture also, just for an effect, just to get you to understand the story a bit more into what I'm going to be talking about today, which is Jaron Lanier and Clay Sharkey. And at the end of it, I'll be doing a comparison, and also there will be a critical analysis when you do read this assignment. So looking through my presentation, you can clearly see that I have introduced what I'll be talking about, and what I've done during this website making. Also, I did get an idea from previous presentations where that people have been doing a summary / overview of the different authors, and I thought this was an excellent idea, and I want to put this into my project, and that's exactly what I've done. I've taken some important tips from the authors, and I've concluded them into short bullet point answers. And of course I've added 2 pictures of the 2 authors just to get an overview of what you think I'm talking about, so you guys can understand. So as we move on, Jaron Lanier, who owns the future. I thought this was a very interesting topic, to say the least, because I think he's such an important man in terms of how the universe has been shaped, really. Because without his brains, without his determination, without his willpower, we wouldn't have his opinion on the world, in terms of technology. And what I've done with this page is I've broken it down into 4 or 5 sections with a conclusion of what he's accomplished, the theses of the authors, and what works they've been doing throughout the year. Also, as you can see right at the top, I have included a quote which is very important because it sort of sums up the person very well. A real friendship ought to introduce each other to unexpected weirdness in the other. Lanier 2010. I think this is very, very important, because without the introductions to people, where would we be in life? And it's the same for everything, really. Like, without technology, where would we be? We need technology to be combined with our human selves for it to grow into something spectacular. Also, what I've added onto this page is how important his book was, Who Owns the Future by Jaron Lanier, and a picture to sum up his overall. Also, what I found interesting was, after doing some research, I've also added a featured video talking about Who Owns the Future is itself. Is a debate, or one-on-one debate, about different points of view and how technology shouldn't be the center of every open and source information, but our modern world should be recalibrated in a way it's fair for everybody. And I think that's a very good point he's put out in that video. And also, what we did learn in one of the lectures was at the bottom of the page was a place called Easily, I believe it's called, where they give you different concepts or different art, and you can visualize and change that into something of your own. And so I thought this was a cracking idea to make a portrait of his key concepts and life experiences that he's gone through to be the person who he is today. And I think that's a very good, visually is very good. It stands out on the page. Yes, I could have placed it a bit more better here and there, but it does sum up very well his life experiences. And design wise, I think it's spot on, because compared to bullet points, just boring bullet points or sentences, this one stands out to you. It's sort of like a massive image on the page just pointing at you. So as we move on to Clay Sharkey. Welcome to Clay Sharkey's Cognitive Surplus. I've also done the same setup for this one, having the quote at the top, which I think is very important for every author's perspective, which is the usefulness of the internet as a tool for change. I think this is a fantastic quote because, as I linked to my title, the past, the present and the digital future, I think this quote sums it up very well and sums up Clay Sharkey's personality in general. He is devoted to his concept of the cognitive surplus, and how that's linked into technology is truly understandable. One of the comparisons I made was how Lanier and Sharkey haven't even met, but they're aiming for the same goals in life, which is, I think, a fantastic contribution towards both of them. Also, what I've done here is I've also broken it down into what I think the theses of the Clay Sharkey is talking about, which is crowdsourcing, well, parts of crowdsourcing, but most importantly, cognitive surplus, and also how the power of crowds can influence people's perspectives. For example, he talks about Facebook, Wikipedia. There's also polls, and this is a great example. And also, at the end of it, I've concluded it into what I think is what he has achieved throughout all of this. And also, I also have included a future video representing how the internet and technology, where would we be without it? And he gives an example, which I think is fantastic, because without technology, how would we be able to communicate? And I've also given an example myself how BBC News is a fantastic way of communication towards the world. And also I've added another infographic at the bottom of the page about the key concepts and life experiences he has achieved throughout his entire career, which stands out as a professor into interactive communication programs. That's impressive in itself. As we move on to the comparisons, this is a life story of how far these guys have come into their life. And I've also added what we learned in a lecture, which is called Prezi, which is basically an online presentation of how I would have broken up if it was on bullet point or any other way. And I think this is a fantastic idea. It's very visually pleasing, and it stands out. It's just different compared to others. And also, I did add a critical analysis at the bottom of the page, which I think is very important when you're comparing both of the authors together, just to get a sense of what I've achieved, what I've talked about, and so on and so forth. Also, which I found, which I liked, was a further reading into Lanier versus Sharkey, where I've selected two other books they've written. So if anybody wants to go out there, read more information, they can so do. And also bibliography, just where I've got all my information from and how I've all generated it into one massive block of information, just to see where I've just got all this work from. But hopefully you've enjoyed my website, and thank you for the year. Thank you.